Hey guys, I'm Chewy Mew and welcome to my channel. Or no, I messed that up. Hey guys, I'm Chewy Mew, but my real name is Eric, and welcome to another Chewy Mew review, where in the previous episode I reviewed, in my opinion, the best Green Goblin figure in the whole wide world. The Marvel Legends Toy Biz Onslaught Build-A-Figure series, I think it was. Green Goblin, that figure's amazing. That's the best Green Goblin ever. Fight me on that, I will kill you every time. But no, I'm just kidding. I do think it's the best Green Goblin, but I won't fight you over it. If you disagree, then, hey, you're just wrong. Today we're going to be taking a look at a figure that, unfortunately, is not as good as that figure, but it's still pretty good, and that is the Marvel Legends Ultimate Green Goblin Build-A-Figure series, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 Spider-Man figure. The really loose torso and really loose head. It's like a bobblehead. So I got this figure new. I don't have the packaging for it because I threw it away. That was like a time when I didn't really care too much about packaging. And I got this figure because I thought it looks amazing. Just the joints are so loose. The head's really loose. The head actually broke. The ball joint in the head actually broke, and so it's pretty loose. Like, it broke back there. It's kind of loose. I definitely think this is a big, huge improvement from the Amazing Spider-Man 1 costume. I don't think it's bad. I just don't think it's any good. I never actually got that figure, the Amazing Spider-Man 1 movie figure. I did get this one because I thought it looked awesome. He actually did come with interchangeable hands. He came with 2 fists, 2 web shooting hands, and I think that was it. He might have came with more, but I think he had those 2 hands for sure. This figure, it was like a time when Marvel Legends was trying to perfect the Spider-Man bodies. I have some other Marvel Legends of Spider-Man, of like the Hasbro era. I think the sculpt is better, but this one was like, they were kind of trying stuff out. But either way, it looks pretty good. You can see the spider logo there. It has some wear and tear. I played with this one, not like a crazy lot. Me and my friend that I talked about before, he liked playing with this one a lot because he thought this costume looked awesome. To me, this is, in my opinion, this is the second best Spider-Man costume in the movies. Obviously, you guys know me. My opinion, the best movie costume, Spider-Man, is the Raimi Spider-Man, and this guy is right after the Raimi Spider-Man costume. But this one still looks good. It has definitely, I feel like it took some inspiration from the Raimi costume from the comic books. Like, if we take a look at the legs here, I'm actually going to go up to the close-up here. The legs have texture on them, which kind of has like octagon kind of shapes on it, kind of like the Raimi costume. I need to stop comparing the Raimi costume to everything, because everything's going to look bad in comparison. The webs have texturing too. They have like a slight darkness inside. They're not like completely black, but they have some darkness in it. You can have texture here if you scratch them. If you scratch the legs, it makes scratching sounds. The hands have a lot of texture too, which that's the one thing I will say about Hasbro. The sculpting on the hands, they make them good. They look really good. Toy Biz did amazing, but they didn't give you interchangeable hands. They just gave you a hand that had a bunch of articulation that you could do a bunch of poses with. I do think that's pretty good. That's one thing I will say Hasbro does really good at giving you interchangeable hands and interchangeable heads, which I think that's one really good thing. Oops, crap, I moved my whole display base. There's the face, the big Spider-Man eyes that everyone knows and loves. I think this, like, if you look at it from here, that looks just like a comic book. It almost looks kind of like the 90s animated series. But when you look at it from the front, I don't know what it is. Like, the head is like a little bit too narrow. There is another Spider-Man figure I have right next to me, which I'll actually just show you the head here, which, to me, in my opinion, that is a so much better looking Spider-Man head. I'm not going to say who that is. I will say it's not the Pizza Time Spider-Man, unfortunately. The head sculpt on this is still amazing. I just feel like from there, that looks perfect. In the front, it just looks, the head's like too narrow. Like, just, there's something that just bugs me, like a little thing that bugs me. Also, he's got the butterfly articulation here, which when you move him, you can actually see the webs don't continue. You move him back on the other side, you can see there's red on the other side, which, yeah, whatever. The spider logo on the back, I think that looks pretty awesome. I like that the Amazing Spider-Man, along with the Raimi Spider-Man, they decided to make their own spider design instead of just sticking to the comic books. On the front, the spiders kind of wore off. Some of the black paint on it's kind of coming off. You can't really see the muscles on the torso, which I'm glad, because some Spider-Man, I feel like they make it look so muscular. Like, it looks like way too ripped for Spider-Man. You know, he's not like, you know, like Captain America, like huge muscular guy. He's like, he's skinny, yeah, but he is like muscular. Like, he's very toned. He's like lean muscle. Like, he doesn't look like a bodybuilder. He just looks like a guy that, you know, pounds the gym, but he doesn't look like Hulk, you know? Also, another thing which kind of bugs me is when you look at the legs here. If you see here, it looks like that there's a huge gap. Like the legs need to be higher up, but they look like they're pretty low. And also, when you look at the side, the thighs stick out farther than the pelvis, which humans don't look like that. Which it's a slight nitpick, but you know, it's definitely a nitpick. You can see the butt there too. You can see more of the webbing here on the belt. It looks very, very glossy. It actually is really glossy in real life. Sometimes I say in the camera it looks so much glossier, but this one actually looks it looks super glossy in real life, which I wish they would have toned down a little bit, like not make it matte, but just a little less gloss. But either way, this figure definitely a big step up from the Amazing Spider-Man 1 figure, and also as far as costume, much better. Oh, the other thing as well is you can see like these are red color. Like, yeah, on the other side, it's red, but I wish they would have just painted these red. Oh, that brings up another thing. We're going to show the perfect Green Goblin figure ever. This Green Goblin, these pegs were actually green, and they painted them purple. Like, you can see here, like, there's some purple coming off. The argument could be made that why didn't they just use purple ones? But, hey, they painted them. So, you know, it's possible. They painted them. So they could have painted him here, but yeah, there goes Hasbro. But either way, let's take a look at his articulation. The head looks all the way up. It's very loose, though, because unfortunately the thing broke. It looks all the way down. It does rotate all the way around. He also has a neck joint, which you can see right there, which I already showed. It doesn't really tilt too much left and right. It was before Hasbro, like, you know, perfected their articulation. He has a torso crunch, which goes down a bit and goes back. I feel like they always go back farther than they go forward. He has, like, I think it's called butterfly articulation, where the arms go back and they go in. The only thing is doing that, the joints get really loose, and these are pretty loose here. The arms rotate all the way around, which I was always scared rotating this because I feel like it's going to break. Moving the arms, I feel like it's going to break right here, so I try not to do that too much. Double bend in the knee, or double bend in the elbow. Rotation in the wrist, hinge in the wrist too. Rotation in the torso, or the waist. The legs kick up really good. That's the one thing with the weird, how it has like the weird gap. The legs kick up super good. They go back pretty good. And unfortunately, he can't do the splits, which Spider-Man should be able to do the splits no matter what. The legs rotate all the way around. The joints are really tight there on the legs. The double bend in the knee, rotation here in the boot. The foot goes up and back pretty good. And the ankle pivot rotates all the way around. So overall, this figure is definitely pretty good. Definitely, from what I've seen, reviews on the Amazing Spider-Man 1 figure, that figure, it looked kind of dumb. Like, the articulation was kind of bad. It was kind of funky looking. This articulation and design-wise looks so much better. Let me know what you think about the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Let me know what you think about this costume from that movie. And let me know what you think about this figure, and I will see you guys in the next review. Wow.